Hello. We are going to take a look at computer apps. This is going to be our first video. We're going to look at business letters and why we would write these, what they consist of, what they look like exactly on our document. Generally, how I would teach this is we would have a list of notes just to kind of introduce it. It's not going to be fairly long. It's just going to kind of take an overview look on what exactly these business letters are. There will be a couple of assignments that will go along with it, and I'll talk about that at the very end. Here in a second, I'm going to pull up my screen, and I'm going to do a screen share with you, walking through each of these different types of things that would be in your notes. And then after that, while I do that, I'll explain each one of those, and then in the very end, I'll talk more about what your assignment is going to look like. This will be the last one for Microsoft Word or Google Docs as we're doing right now. And then our next unit that we're going to get into, which would be next week, is going to be going through Google Sheets, which would be very similar to what we would do in the classroom with Microsoft Excel. So here we go.
All right, so with business letters, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a template for you. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to Google Drive and just open up a blank, brand new Google Doc. I'm just going to call this business letter template. Okay, so with our business letter template, basically what we're going to start off with up here in the top left corner is going to be the return address. So this would be your address. So for example, if I was going to put my information in here, I would put P.O. Box 552, and then on the next line, Hudson, Iowa, and then make sure that you put your zip code, so mine's 50643. After we get done with this, we actually go down, this is called double space, so hit enter twice for double space, and then that's going to give us, or bring us to today's date, so April 30th, 2020. And then we're going to quadruple space after this. So there's only 2 times in this whole letter that you're going to quadruple space, and this is one of those. So what that means is quadruple space is hitting the enter after you get done typing. So after 2020, you're going to hit enter 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then the next piece that's going to go in here is the sending address. Sending address. Okay, so this is whoever you're going to send the letter to. So we're going to do ours to John Smith, and we're going to call it Company X. Let's just say that we're sending this to some sort of business. 123 Main Street, anywhere, Iowa. All right, so again, zip code. Now, one important thing that you need to understand with a business letter is there's 2 different types. There's a non-personal business letter and then a personal business letter. Non-personal would be something that just a basic letter that you're sending to someone. Non-personal. The personal business letter is going to be something that's actually handling some format of business, whether that's going to be applying for a scholarship, applying for a job in the format of a cover letter, things like that. And so basically what's going to happen is there's those 2 different types of letters. Everything that we do, your one and only assignment in this is just going to be creating a business letter, a personal business letter that talks about, has some sort of meaning to it, some sort of business is discussed. Okay, so this there's 2 different types of modifications here as far as the way that this is set up. This is called block formatting. Okay, so everything, basically what that means is everything's going to be lined up on the left-hand side. Now, before I go any further, I want to bring up a couple of points. We want to take our margins, and we want to go over to page setup and take the top margin and change that to 2 inch. Bottom left and right, we're going to keep it 1. Okay, so we'll hit OK there, and now we can see that we've got this space up here. Reason that space is up there is if I were working for a company and I had a letterhead, that's what would go up in that area. The other thing you want to make sure that you do is this should be set at actually single spacing, which it is. And then we also want to make sure that there's no spacing after paragraph. If you remember from Microsoft Word, it's set up to where you have that spacing after paragraph. So we would want to take that out of here. All right, so now after we get to this point, we want to hit enter twice again, and this would be, this is where our greeting would go. Okay, so our greeting is going to just basically mean, Dear Mr. Smith. Okay, two things here with this. After Dear Mr. Smith, a lot of times we're used to putting a comma or something. We don't have to. There's two different types of punctuation. There is open punctuation, which means we don't put any kind of comma, colon, semicolon, anything after that. Or there is called mixed punctuation. The mixed punctuation means that we put a comma here, then when all right, so what we do is with the closing, we would put sincerely, or we would put thank you, something along those lines. Now, if we have punctuation here, we've also got to have it here. Okay, now these can be two different ones. I could have thank you, and I could have colon or whatever, semicolon, whatever, but they have to be the same, either have punctuation or not punctuation. So open punctuation, we'll go with that for this example. All right, so we're back up here to the greeting. Now we hit enter twice, and then we can start typing our letter. So paragraph 1, what that is going to look like is just going to be introducing yourself. You could maybe tell how you got their information. You could talk about the point of this letter, etc. So basically, paragraph 1 is going to let's go back up here and put that this is 2 to 3 sentences, and it's just an introduction. It's an introduction paragraph is all that it's going to get into. Okay, so paragraph 2. This one is also going to be 2 to 3 sentences. Now, if this was a cover letter for a job, if this was requesting, like for scholarships, or this was for a college application, that type of thing, any type of thing like that, this is going to be a marketing paragraph. Okay, so marketing your skills. Let's put that down for this. Marketing your skills. Let's see. Any detail that you can give to the reader. Okay, so that's what this second paragraph is going to be. Really get into kind of the meat of this letter, the reason why you're writing it, and stuff like that. Again, so after this, and please notice that everything is lined up to the left. Okay, everything is lined up on this left-hand side. There's no indenting the paragraphs. You're just typing them straight out, and that's all that there is to it. Paragraph 3. This will be our final one. Okay, this is our final paragraph. This is again 2 to 3 sentences, and this is our closing. Thank them for reading. Tell how they can reach you if any questions. You could attach your phone number or email address. That type of thing goes here. Okay, it's really important that you thank them and thank them for their time and stuff like that. Especially like if it's a job, if it's a job application, you're going to want to make sure that you have a correct email address. You're going to want to make sure that you have your accurate phone number. Those types of things are going to be in there. Now, this third paragraph can also be finished with enclosed. You will find. For this one, for your assignment, you are actually going to be Yeah, you'll be enclosing something is what you're going to tell your reader. So enclosed, you will find my grade report. Okay, so that's what yours is going to look like. So you're going to have that for your third one. Now the closing, you're going to hit enter twice again. So you're double spacing. And in closing, you're going to put thank you. And now we did not use punctuation up here, so we won't use it down here either. Hit enter. Now you're going to hit enter 4 times after this. So thank you, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then you will type your name. Okay. Reason that we have this open space here, that's for your signature. That's for your signature. So you're going to write, or you would, if you printed this out, you would actually hand write your signature, or hand sign it, however you sign your name. That is going to be in anything except red. So like black or blue pen would be acceptable, and it would just go right in there. Okay. So that's why that's quadruple spaced. Since we have an enclosure, we need to tell them that they should be looking for an enclosure. Okay. So enclosed, you will find my grade report. So down here, I'm going to double space, and I'm just going to type in the word enclosure, just like this, and that's all that I need to put here. Okay. Now, there's a lot more detail that we could get into with this, but I really do want to keep this somewhat simple. This is all that it should look like. This is your exact template for your assignment. Okay. Your assignment is going to be a personal business letter. You'll create a personal business letter. I have you change the font, and then also the font size to 12. You'll use today's, whatever day it is that you type this out. Paragraph 1, you will tell your parents why you are writing this letter. This is obviously a different situation with us not being in the school building right now, and grades look a little bit different and things like that. So what I want you to do is just in that paragraph, just imagine, or for the sake of this assignment, just imagine that you were in school. So you're going to that first paragraph that you were in the school building and grades were normal, and everything was as it was before we left for spring break. First paragraph, tell them about your grades so far. Tell them how you're doing. Okay, that can be in my class. That can be in any class. I don't care what the details are as far as that goes. I just want to see that you can properly put some information in that first paragraph that belongs there. Paragraph 2, I want you to talk about what you're doing, what you're doing well, what you're struggling with, those types of things. Think back to week 2 of this trimester, before we went on this break. Think about what you were doing, how you were doing as a student at that point. Okay, talk about those things in paragraph 2. Paragraph 3, thank them for listening, and that type of thing. Let me just point out, your address may be the exact same as your parents or your guardian, wherever it is that you live. You can use that twice in this letter. Okay, obviously this is just kind of like a practice, a template on how this would look. You will use this at some point of your life. Okay, trust me, you will use this at some point, this type of a template. So I just want to kind of expose you to it and show you what it is. That's pretty much it. And then you are going to just follow the instructions down there. Remember that DS is double space, QS is quadruple space. Only 2 spots are quadruple spaced, this one and this one. Okay, all these other spaces in between those are double spaced. That's all that there is. The text in the paragraphs, this should all be single spaced. Okay, default has it 1.15 or whatever. That's fine, but you can go back through and you can change all of this stuff if you'd like as well. Okay, so you can just go up here, single space. Now this is what it looks like. All right, so this is as short as what it is. Please, if you have any questions, reach out. After this assignment, what you're going to work on is going to be working into Google Sheets. I'll get into that. I'll do another video, probably not as long. This one was a little bit longer, but I kind of had a lot to go over with this. Google Sheets, we'll kind of clump it each week, and I'll give you some new formulas, stuff like that you'll be able to learn about. So anyways, that's about it. If you've got any questions, please reach out. I hope that you're doing well. If this is overwhelming, please ask me, and I'll simplify as much as I can. But you have the answers right in front of you in this template. Okay. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.